Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present to you about my final year project proposal, which is about design and fabrication impact machine using pneumatic systems. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Wan Haziq Sufian bin Wan Zain. My ID number is 2023-871404 and my supervisor is TS Muhammad Rizwan bin Muhammad Reza. So for the table of content, I have concluded 3 chapters, which is the chapter 1 for the introduction, chapter 2 for the literature review, and the chapter 3 for the methodology. So we will go through to the chapter 1, which is the introduction. In this chapter, I will conclude the introduction, background of study, problem statement, objective, and the scope of work. So for the introduction, pneumatic is a branch of automation that make use of gas compressed air to transmit and control energy. Compressed air of pneumatic systems is used in operating doors of buses or trains, brakes of automotive vehicles, also known as an automatic production lines, and pneumatically operated clamps in various industries. This machine works mostly on automation, therefore less manpower is required. The project is to make the machine to press the load using a pneumatic system, or known as compressed air systems. This machine is performing on sensing system. The sensor is working very sensitively, therefore some safety precaution is very necessary to operate the machine by some skilled operator. So for the background of study, in today's industrial landscape, there is an increasing demand for machines that are not only effective in performing repetitive mechanical tasks, but also environmentally friendly, safe to operate, and easy to maintain. A pneumatic system is a system that uses compressed air, typically air, to generate, transmit, and control power. These systems are used in a wide range of applications, from manufacturing and transportation to medical equipment and construction. It also most effective way to reduce energy consumption. Pneumatic systems rely on components like compressors, valves, cylinders, and actuators to control the flow of compressed air and convert it into mechanical motion. Pneumatic systems which utilize compressed air to transmit energy offer a compelling solution. They are known for their simplicity, rapid actuation, low maintenance requirement, and clean operation, making them ideal for environment that prioritize efficiency and hygiene. The pneumatic impact machine in this study is designed to simulate and perform pressing, shaping, or punching tasks using a control burst of air pressure to drive a piston. The mechanism is inspired by the efficiency of systems like automatic bus doors, which open and close hundreds of times a day using a similar pneumatic concept. By that, this project aimed to fabricate a working prototype with a safe and user-friendly control system. So we move on to the problem statement. Today, human being is making new invention for a comfortable and fast world. Also today, automation is fast and manpower technique. The machine created to press a material using a system that called pneumatic system, which is compressed by air. By that, it can reduce human energy by pressing a load such as steel, aluminium, and etc. The system is free to be more user-friendly control system that can be more faster and efficient. However, the equipment that used in this project are need to choose properly so the machine can accomplish the load successfully. Today, to handle that, they're made with tough material like reinforced aluminum or steel, and they use shock absorbing hinges and joints to deal with everyday wear and tear. Applying this design principle to an impact machine, we can build a rigid and reinforced frame, incorporate vibration, dampening support, and ensure even force distribution through careful mounting. So we move on to the objective of using the pneumatic system. So we have two objectives, which is first to design a mechanical structure capable of withstanding repeated impact loads, and also to fabricate a working prototype with a safe and user-friendly control system. Yep. So we move on to the scope of work. First, do some research about the pneumatic system and identify the purpose, also the application of the pneumatic systems. Determine the impact force requirement, safety, and the system operation in the pneumatic system. After the research is done, start to design with sketching the mechanical frame for the structural backbone of the entire system. Last but not least, make the final test to make sure the safety functions such as the emergency button and the guard. Other than that, also need to make sure there is no air leak and operate the control system to test cylinder stroke. If there's something went wrong, we need to make some adjustment for the machine before it can be used. So we move on to the chapter 2, which is the literature review. In this chapter, I have concluded the introduction, advantages and disadvantages, the actuators, and also the sensors. So we move on to the advantages and disadvantages of pneumatic system. There is a lot of advantages if using the pneumatic system. One of the benefits is they are clean and environmentally friendly because they are use compressed air compared to hydraulic that use oil. Other than that, they are safer to use since there is no risk of fire or explosion and simple in design. So for the disadvantages is the pneumatic typically generate lower force compared to hydraulic system, which may restrict their use in heavy duty application. Other than that, the system can be noisy and controlling speed of or position precisely is more difficult compared to electric or hydraulic systems. So we move on to the actuators. Pneumatic have obtained a variety of applications in manufacturing to control industrial process, in automatic and aircraft setting to module valve, even in medical equipment such as dentistry drills to actual top movement. Pneumatic actuators are very popular because of their simplicity, low cost price and maintenance, power density, high travel speed, and the possibility of their being used in circumstances in which electrical system can create a safety hazard. A pneumatic actuator change energy use compressed air at the efficiency in the system. There are a lot of actuators, which is acting cylinder, single acting cylinder, double acting cylinder, and rotary actuators. So we move on to the sensors. Sensors play a crucial role in monitoring and controlling the operation of components to ensure the system runs smoothly, safely, and efficiently. One commonly used sensor is the proximity sensor, especially magnetic type, which detect the position of piston inside the cylinder. Depending on where the sensor is mounted, it can detect extension, retraction, or individual positions along the cylinder body. Multiple sensors can also be attached to one pneumatic cylinder for multiple position feedback location. Pneumatic cylinders with position sensor allow for added security and feedback to ensure the piston location to measure and monitor the pressure of compressed air within the system. So we go through to the chapter 3, which is the methodology. So in this chapter, I have concluded the introduction, flow chart, morphological chart, post chart, expected result, and also the detailed design. So the focus is on how the project is made. It will involve a systematic approach that begins with design, followed by material selection, fabrication, assembly, and testing. This section outlines the steps taken to ensure the machine is functional, safe, and efficient for its intended purpose. The process starts by doing detailed planning and design the system using the sketching and SolidWorks. Then follow by doing a flow chart to detect the error when doing the project. Next, the morphology chart also will be highlighted since there are a lot of material and components may be chosen. The post chart is also one of the important things in this subchapter to choose the best design for this project. So we move on to the flow chart. As you can see, the flow chart. The flowchart illustrates the step-by-step methodology for designing and fabricating a pneumatic impact machine. The process begins by gathering relevant information and technical requirements, followed by selecting the best design concept based on functionality and practicality. A rough sketch of chosen design is the create. If the design doesn't meet the necessary criteria, is further developed and refined until it is satisfactory. Once finalized, the design is modeled in detail using SolidWorks. The final stage involves fabricating pneumatic impact machine based on the SolidWorks model, assembling the component, frame, pneumatic cylinder, valves, and control system to complete the working prototype. So for the morphological chart, first of all, the valve who control the flow, compressor, and direction of compressed air. There are 3 types of valves that shown in the table that have their own function and ability, but this project we will use solenoid valve because they are relative low power consumption, making them ideal for the manual pneumatic application. Next, the actuator selection must be wisely for the system reliability. So the actuator, we choose the pneumatic actuator because of the speed in the quick response, making them suitable for application that require quick movement. Last but not least, for the sensors, we choose the proximity sensors because the device detects the pressure of nearby object without physically contact, and also is low maintenance. So we move on to the perf chart. As you can see the table, the best actuator can be used in this project is actuator 1 because it has most all of the criteria needed. It has all the criteria listed like the performance, appearance, ergonomic, reliable, and cheap. For the actuator 3, it is good but not good enough for use. Even it is cheap but it's not ergonomic for user and also not reliable. So it placed below the chosen concept. For the actuator 2 that have a lot of negative results like the appearance, the ergonomy, and also is not cheap and not affordable even though the performance are good. So it will be placed in the last option and not be chosen to use in this project. So for the expected result is we expect the pneumatic impact machine that is fully functional prototype that can operate repetitive impact force efficiently, reliable, and safe using the compressed air as the main power source. The machine should be capable to deliver consistent impact force suitable for the application. By then, this project aims to achieve the objective of this project, which is to fabricate a working prototype with a safe and user-friendly control system. The most important thing is the machine can deliver standing repeated impact load to make sure the project is successfully achieve the objective. So we move on to the detailed design. As you can see in the picture, they have listed all the components inside the picture, like the air compressor, receiver tank, FRL, control valve, cylinder, puncher, and also the switch. all the components have their own function to make sure the system can function efficiently. So if you get any question to ask, you can ask me later. So that's all from me. Thank you.